Someone once said, patriotism is one of the deepest feelings for one's homeland that has been fixed for thousands of years. No matter what country you come from or what color you are, your country is like soil to a tree. Without the nourishment of soil, the tree cannot grow better. Our channel has also introduced many talented people who have accomplished their studies abroad and left their generous salaries to return to their homeland and build it without any hesitation. Everyone who is interested in this topic can find it in our playlist. The man we are introducing today taught himself calculus at the age of 8 and became the youngest Chinese professor at Harvard at the age of 31. If his life is summarized, it can only be described as genius. However, this Chinese physics genius joined American nationality after graduation, married, and had children there, and when his motherland invited him to return to China, he refused to return to develop his country and replied with a paragraph that made everyone collectively silent. Let's take a look at his story today. In 1983, Yin Xi was born. From a very young age, Yin Xi showed an intelligence completely different from other children, especially in mathematical calculations. His parents were both graduates of the China University of Geosciences, and his family had high hopes for him to achieve something in the future, rather than disappearing into obscurity. Instead of playing at home or going out to play games with children while his parents went out to work, Yin Xi chose to stay home and study calculus, which was a headache even for college students. In 1993, at the age of 9, Yin Xi was admitted to Beijing No. 8 Middle School's experimental class for the intellectually exceptional, where his talent in mathematics allowed him to run farther and stand taller than any other child. There were children of his intelligence and ability in the experimental class of Beijing No. 8 Middle School, and it was thought that Yin Xi would not be able to keep up with the others because he was the youngest, but he soon proved himself with his strength. Learning knows no bounds, and Yin Xi did not stop learning. In just 3 years, he not only completed his book knowledge, but also expanded a lot of knowledge that he would have learned only in higher education. At the age of 12, he scored 572 points in the entrance examination and entered the junior class of the University of Science and Technology of China, USTC, class of '96. A column by Xinhua News Agency with the theme, 12-year-old Yin Xi of the 8th Middle School Junior Class became the youngest student at the University of Science and Technology of China with a high score of 572, propelled Yin Xi into the public eye, where he received countless accolades from all directions and became a high school genius in the eyes of thousands of parents in China. During his time at the University of Science and Technology of China's junior class, Yin Xi excelled in his studies and won several scholarships almost every year. Soon, in 2001, after a 5-year-long junior class, he lived up to the expectations, and international schools such as Yale, Harvard, and Cambridge threw him an olive branch. In the end, he chose Harvard, and as a fresh adult he became a doctoral student in physics at Harvard University in the United States. The journey of Yin Xi's life is completely different from that of ordinary people. At an age when ordinary people are still going through the motions, he has already taken a big step forward, and the path of genius seems to better describe the process of Yin Xi's journey. The difference between a genius and a normal person is that you can never imagine the depth of his intelligence and ability. When he came to Harvard University, he was the youngest among his classmates, and instead of showing fear, worry, discomfort with the unfamiliar environment, or even missing his home and parents, he devoted himself to his research work. At that time, quantum mechanics and string theory were among the more popular and difficult objects of research in the scientific community, and Yin Xi was particularly interested in these too. Yin Xi is not only a good student, he is also an athlete. He appeared on the track of a marathon, number 538, sweating profusely and running through the pain of an old knee injury, finally arriving at the finish line after more than 4 hours. In 2006, Yin Xi successfully completed his studies and received his PhD from Harvard University, and just when his parents and his country were waiting for him to return to CSU, something unexpected happened. Harvard University broke its long-standing rule that a PhD from the university could not continue his postdoctoral studies at the university for this prodigy. In an exception, Dr. Yin Xi was allowed to stay at the university to continue his research and further study. This news caused a sensation at home and abroad. What choice will Yin Xi make? Later, everyone knew about it. In 2015, Yin Xi officially became a professor of physics at Harvard University, which should have made the country proud of him. After all, Yin Xi is a Chinese. But countless Chinese netizens were not happy. When Yin Xi was invited to teach undergraduate and graduate students at his alma mater, CSU, in 2013, he was interviewed by many people who were concerned about questions related to why he joined the U.S. citizenship. In fact, when Yin Xi gave up her Chinese citizenship during her doctoral studies and silently chose to join the U.S. citizenship, she faced a lot of questions when the matter spread in the country. And when the reporter asked whether he wanted to return to his country, Yin Xi clearly said, "I am not thinking of returning to my country at the moment." And he said that science has no borders and his work needs to be supported by more advanced science and technology and personnel, which is the only way to better benefit the whole mankind. Many Chinese people are very appreciative of such a genius as Yin Xi, but also have a hint of doubt. Indeed, there are many excellent Chinese people who went out and did not come back. Data show that in the chip industry, which is subject to frequent conflicts between China and the United States, more than half of the elite group of talents holding up the hegemony of the United States semiconductor are Chinese. Just one place, Silicon Valley. The number of Chinese engineers reached as many as 250,000, and the Chinese are proud of Beijing University and Tsinghua University, the two colleges and universities that the Chinese are proud of, have sent at least 20,000 students to the United States, and are called the talent base of the United States, which can be said to be not wrong at all. Up to now, about 32,000 Chinese scientists have officially joined the US and become Americans, in name only. At the moment, it seems that Yin Xi will not be returning to China anytime soon. In fact, the reasons behind it are quite obvious. I think the main points are as follows. Number 1, his research in the US really needs to continue, whereas he doesn't have a good research environment and background in China. For high-energy physics research like his, China may really lack certain environment at home. So even if he returns to China, he will not be able to play much of a role, so he might as well continue his studies abroad to further conquer the problems and research science and technology. The second reason is that, so far, there is no opportunity for him to play his talent in China. You know, the power of one person is limited. Without a team of like-minded people, it is very difficult to overcome the difficulties and make achievements. The third reason, scientists also have the needs of ordinary people, and he may have a better treatment in foreign countries. But this is not a sign of selfishness, it is also each person's own pursuit and consideration. In the end, the United States is really strong in scientific research, although China has been working to catch up, but there is always a gap. Scientists are also mortals, and we should not be too harsh. Feel free to leave your comments in the comments section. That's all I have to say for today. I'll see you next time.